Good morning to everyone, and welcome, and thanks a lot for inviting me here. This is it's really nice being here and being with you today. I looked a little bit at your program of yesterday and also of the following days, and I have to say I'm rather sorry that I cannot follow, because a lot of very interesting discussions upcoming and a lot of very interesting discussions running here. So what I will try to do is to take a little bit through our current thinking, how we intend to do things, how we try to bring things forward. Because what I see, of course, is at the moment at the Luxembourg Internet Days, your focus is very much, and for good reason, of course, on the technological development. What I'm trying here to do is maybe to bring this into a slightly bigger political picture that we're looking at here, also in order to shape your discussion for the next 2 days. And I hope this is helpful, first of all, but also the very best regards from my Vice President, Margrethe Vestager, who really would have liked to be here herself and do this keynote speech. But of course, at the moment, her agenda doesn't send her best regards. So I see you have a lot to cover. Digital future, this is what I was asked to talk about. And of course, how could we talk better about digital future than during these days where we're all doing webinars, where we're all doing our conferences now online. I think the technological boost we had over the last couple of months is enormous. The interesting part here is really that we had this that took along the whole society. It's not something where some nerds are sitting there and others are looking at YouTube and maybe use Google here and there. This is really the learning curve in the society as regards digital education, connection tools, ways of doing learning online, shopping online, doing also business online is quite steep. And if there's anything good in this whole terrible crisis, it's that we can hopefully build on this and take this along. But it also showed some of the elements where we are very weak when it comes to digital technologies, and where we have to really see how we can address it, and that we need to take care. A few examples is, of course, when increase of disinformation that came up during the crisis month. I think I can only refer to some of the disinformation, sort of a rather targeted disinformation campaign on 5G. A lot of disinformation that 5G, which is of course not. It gained traction, and it was in many regards. Then we have also a lot of concerns when it comes to I think you discussed yesterday, and you will also discuss the next days, quite a lot about cybersecurity elements. We can only use technology and technical tools and take also the society with us on digital if citizens trust that what we do, that their rights are protected. And this is really what we try to do. We are not starting from scratch. It's not that we haven't thought about it at all. I just try to remind people again and again, there is a digital strategy from the European Commission from February this year, before Corona, and this strategy still stands. I don't want to go in, but what the sort of the 3 pillars on which we're building work is to say, on the one side, if we have technological development, it really needs to serve the people, the citizens. We want to have a human focus in technological development. We want a fair marketplace, a marketplace within Europe where all companies and businesses of all sizes can really flourish, innovate, and compete, so that we have here something which is dominated by a few players, but really open and also accessible to everyone. And the last element is to say that we want here a society, a digital society, which is based on values, which brings me back to some of my earlier comments on disinformation, but also of course, the protection of fundamental rights like the freedom of speech, etc. Sort of these are all guiding principles on which we build our overall digital strategy. There's a lot of work ongoing on our side. I have a certain limited time to talk you through, so I will just cover on a few elements which are, I think, important when you discuss further today and the next and tomorrow, and also maybe also for your overall discussion later on. And the first part is, of course, our work on the recovery side. You know that the European Union is putting forward a big package of support for the recovery after the crisis. It's called Next Generation EU. Within that, we have a recovery and resilience facility, which will help member states to come up with national plans and to come forward with ideas on how to recover from the crisis. 20% of all is to be spent on digital. This is quite an impressive amount of money, but also an amount of money which we should use wisely in order to advance. This is not just to be spent somehow some money on digital. What we want to achieve here is really that we use this in a smart, so that it really creates the society and the technological development we want. So I'll walk you through all the elements, but maybe a few hints. I mean, on the recovery package, where we really look at is, of course, first of all, at improving connectivity. I know this is an old discussion, omnipresent discussion. We still have white spots in Europe, as you know. In some parts, we still, during the crisis, we had certain areas which were completely detached because just the connectivity is not there. Also for businesses to expand, to find new ways of approaching their customers, we need the connectivity in place. There we're really pushing it, also pushing that we go, of course, much faster with the 5G rollout. So there's a lot of support there. But we don't stop there. There are 3 elements in addition which we want really to bring forward with the recovery. One element is also that we want the technologies to advance and have cross-border projects which bring things forward. I mean, I saw that you yesterday discussed lengthily here elements on cloud infrastructure and how to set this up. I mean, this is one of the examples. We are, of course, looking at how we can maybe use some of these recovery elements to bring this forward. The president of the European Commission, Mrs. von der Leyen, was very clear in her State of the Union speech that she also said we need to invest in cloud. We need to bring this forward. Connectivity is one of the backbones for us to become a real digital society. Second element where we also want to look at is, of course, the skills agenda. We need much more digital skills, and that includes both. It includes the basic digital skills, which are still not there in a large part of but of course the much more advanced digital skills as well, which we need in order for this economy and this to thrive in Europe. So we hope that also with the recovery package, we can really invest there in the right way and bring this forward. Another element also still within the recovery is that we look very much at boost digital solutions in the public administration, where a lot more is needed. And also at the same time, normally what we see is if you have a digital solution in the public administration, it often works as an enabler for further digitalization of businesses, of economic operators at large, but also citizens. It starts from a very simple element of a digital tax declaration, of e-public procurement rules, etc. So there's a lot of, but surely something where we will have a very close look and a strong interest that. And one element in there is also, of course, to look into how we can use a digital identity, a European digital identity, in order to boost this. This is a proposal next year, where the Commission is at the moment working on that. We bring here a digital identity which can citizens to be recognizable across Europe as a trusted person, but also which enables citizens very clearly that they have control over their own data, that they can trust again that once they're online, they are safe, they're secure, they're identifiable, but the counterpart is identifiable as well. much the part on the recovery side. We have a lot of other things going on. We are working at the moment on a data governance framework also to enable more data sharing across Europe. But maybe one last thing I wanted to zoom on for the last 2 minutes before I need to leave you, unfortunately, again, is on the Digital Services Act and the Digital Markets Act, because I know that there are many, many questions out there, what exactly the Commission is doing still this year. And what we're trying here to do is really to our citizens in a way that once they consume online, be it products, be it services, that this is safe and secure, and this can be done in a trust. Is very much the Digital Services Act where we're working on. We want here clear rights and obligations on what they can do, but also what they have to do, and also what they can't do. So we have here clear obligations on responsibilities, pick up their responsibilities. Second element is also to increase the transparency. The overall aim is here to make sure that, for example, illegal products cannot be sold online anymore, and also that we have a more quick reaction and a better protection against illegal hate speech, for example. At the same time, what we see, this is really one of the important parts, because we see that at the moment several member states are starting to have their own national legislation in place. And what we want to create here is really to go back to a real European digital single market and to create here a framework which makes sure that every platform in Europe has the same rules and obligations, so that we can clearly work here together, and enable also smaller platforms really to make use of the internet and the platform economy, and by having the same rules and a trusted environment. I could easily go on for quite much more time. We still have a huge proposal on artificial intelligence next year. We are having proposals coming forward also on cybersecurity, especially the review of the NIS directive, where I saw that this was also on the program. We're having the Data Act to come, but unfortunately, time available here. But I hope I gave an overview of what we're aiming for, and I wish you a very, very good discussion and a good exchange these days, and for inviting me. Thank you.